When testing and tuning a Botflow in Genesis Cloud that gathers caller intent, the optimization dashboard is a very helpful tool to understand what's going on in the Botflow, to review caller utterances, drill through to caller recordings, and it will show you a summary of intents matched. But this graph is a little bit misleading. In this case, you can see the value is 63%. But this is 63% of every single caller interaction with the bot flow. So I might have an initial prompt that says, "How can I help you today?" The caller might respond that something that doesn't match an intent. So we prompt the caller again, and the caller says something else. That prompts us to confirm an intent. The caller says no, which means we might ask for something else. So a single session can include multiple caller responses that are each included in this graph. And you also may have multiple sessions per call, which is fine because we may need to gather an intent more than once in a single call. I'm going to show how to have a more accurate representation of how successful your bot flow is at matching an intent than this graph seems to indicate, because this value is really artificially low. So to start off with, we're going to open a blank Excel workbook. From the Data tab, we're going to choose from text or CSV, open our CSV export. So this is from the optimization dashboard. And we're going to, in the optimization dashboard, you can export all the session data. We're going to load that into Excel. And the first thing that we're going to do is in the Ask Action Name column, filter to the action that represents our ask for intent. And I've just named these helpfully for the sake of illustration. Yours will be named something different. But whatever that action is that asks for caller intent, that's the one you want to filter to. We're going to select all of that data and copy to a new sheet. So this sheet now only contains the data we're interested in. Now I need to sort this data. I need to sort it first by session ID because I want to have the unique sessions. And I want to then sort everything that happens in the session from oldest to newest, because my goal then is to add a new column, is final. You can call it really whatever you want. And I'm going to add a formula for the first row that's checking whether or not the session ID in this row matches the next one. If it does, then it means it's not the last row for the session, and I'm going to extend that all the way down the sheet because I want to find the final row for every unique session that came through my bot flow, and why will become apparent in a moment. So now I'm going to insert a pivot table from a text or range or a table or range, and that's going to by default select my entire table as long as I've selected a cell within it. I'm going to add this pivot table to a new worksheet, and I need to now configure my pivot table. First, I'm going to filter it by isFinal, the new column I added, and choose the value yes, because I only want the data to include the last row for each unique session. I'm going to add the Ask Action Outcome to the rows section. So we'll talk about those in a minute. And then I'm going to add session ID twice to my values column. The first is going to default to count of session ID. And the second one I'm going to edit the value field settings to show the values as the percent of the grand total. So I can get counts and percentages. So this is all my data. Let's talk about what it means. The success collection is cases where the bot flow recognized an intent. It did not require confirmation. But I want to add that to my success confirmation yes, because those two values together are the complete or the total percentage that the bot flow was able to successfully recognize a caller intent. In this case, because we were very confident, and in this case, because we asked the caller and they said yes. So as you can see, in this case, my bot flow recognition together is a little over 81%. Now, there are several others. Success confirmation no means we asked the caller, is this the intent you want? They said no. But we have others options here as well. Confirmation required means that we asked the caller, but before we could actually finish that process, the call abandoned. And that's going to be the same as the no input confirmation. So those two together are basically going to be abandons in the process. But I also have a no input collection and a no match collection and a no match confirmation. So no match confirmation means we asked the caller, is this the intent you want? And they said something other than yes or no. So we weren't able to match their response when asking for confirmation. No match collection means that when we asked the caller for their intent, the final result was the caller's utterance was not able to be matched to an intent. And then for the no input collection, that means that the caller's final response was to not respond when asked for an intent. And those values together give you your overall picture of the success of your bot flow. And of course, you could relabel these and resort the rows to give you the data in the format you'd like it. So that's how you can take the raw data out of an Architect bot flow for caller intent and come up with a more accurate picture of what's happening in your bot flow and how successful you are at recognizing a caller intent.